You're going to prison, friend. What is that? What do you think you have? You broke the law. In the world of Hollywood legends, few stars shine as steadily as Harrison Ford. For more than 50 years, this mysterious actor has shaped what it means to be a hero in movies with famous roles like Han Solo, Indiana Jones, and Rick Deckard. He has created a lasting legacy based on quiet skill and a strong dislike for Hollywood's fake glamour. Beneath his brief humor and easy appearance on screen is one of the toughest perfectionists in the industry. He is an actor whose commitment to being real has led to some of the most unforgettable clashes with other actors who couldn't meet his high standards. Ford's image as Hollywood's most unwilling star hides a more important reality about how he works on his craft. Unlike actors who seek attention and enjoy the spotlight of fame, Ford has always viewed acting as important work that requires serious dedication. His conflicts didn't come from his ego or personality, but from basic differences in how they saw professionalism, preparation, and respect for the teamwork that filmmaking requires. When Ford says he won't work with someone again, it matters because his standards are based on skill, not on personal feelings. Today we look at 6 actors whose different ideas with Ford became so serious that they changed the course of possible teamwork, showing the strong resolve behind one of Hollywood's most lasting and mysterious figures. 6th, Shia LaBeouf. The gap between different generations in Hollywood's acting community became very obvious when Harrison Ford met the unpredictable creativity of Shia LaBeouf during Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Their teamwork was more than just a basic conflict of acting styles. It represented the clash between Ford's traditional professionalism and LaBeouf's innovative way of developing characters, which was starting to change modern performance standards and challenged Ford's ideas about acceptable behavior on set. The tension started during their first rehearsal when LaBeouf's unique preparation style clearly conflicted with Ford's organized and serious way of working on characters. Stunt coordinator Vic Armstrong says that Harrison approaches each scene with great care and attention to detail. She approached every moment as if it were an emotional exploration, uncovering feelings and memories. They had very different ideas about what acting should achieve. The conflict got worse when LaBeouf's way of preparing affected other cast members, creating what Ford saw as unnecessary confusion that jeopardized the organized setting he required for the best results. The turning point happened in an important father-son scene, when LaBeouf's improvised changes caused Ford to stop filming. Witnesses said it was a display of professional self-control meeting youthful defiance. Producer Frank Marshall later shared that Ford's comments after filming made his stance very clear. There's a difference between being dedicated to good character and being dedicated to chaos, and Harrison won't support the latter. The tension was so strong that the crew noticed Ford's clear relief when LaBeouf's scenes finished. One experienced observer remarked that Ford looked like someone who had just come through a beautiful but tiring storm. Sean Young. The most psychologically complicated conflict in Harrison Ford's career came up during the making of Blade Runner, where his work relationship with Sean Young turned into a warning story about the risky mix of method acting and personal obsession. Their fight went beyond usual disagreements and turned into a struggle over boundaries, professionalism, and how deeply actors could get into their roles. This issue would bother both actors for many years and change the way Ford worked with highly dedicated performers. The tension started during rehearsals when Young's deep mental preparation for Rachel clashed with Ford's desire to keep character work apart from personal interactions. Director Ridley Scott remembered that Sean always stayed in character. This made Harrison unsure whether he was speaking to the actress or the replicant. For someone who cares about having clear professional boundaries, this was very troubling. The situation got more serious when Young's methods started to impact their interactions away from the camera, leading Ford to see it as an awkward mix of work and personal boundaries. The conflict became most evident during the movie's romantic scenes, where Young's intensity made Ford clearly uneasy. Cinematographer Jordan Cronenweth noted that Ford later admitted working with Young was like navigating a psychological minefield, showing just how uncomfortable he was with her style. The clash between Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones during The Fugitive is seen as a famous example in Hollywood of two strong personalities learning that just because they respect each other, it doesn't mean they will work well together. Their conflict came from very different ways of developing characters and working with the set. Ford's careful planning clashed with Jones's spontaneous style, creating exciting tension on screen, while making it harder for actors to collaborate off-camera and adding more psychological pressure on them. The tension became clear during their first big scene together when Jones's unpredictable character choices made Ford continuously change his carefully planned performance. Director Andrew Davis said that Tommy treated each scene like jazz improvisation, altering rhythms and focuses with every take. Harrison needed regular beats to develop his character's story. They were both talented, but they made very different kinds of movies. The conflict got worse when Jones changed how lines were delivered, which affected Ford's timing in reacting. This led to heated talks about professional courtesy and working together. The turning point happened during the tunnel fight scene, where Jones's erratic energy made it hard for Ford to stick to his precise acting style. 3. Julia Roberts. The surprising tension between Harrison Ford and Julia Roberts during a canceled romantic drama surprised Hollywood insiders who believed that two of America's top stars would work well together. Their conflict came from different ways of looking at star persona and character development. Ford's natural authenticity clashed with Roberts' more showy charm, making true romantic chemistry hard to achieve, even with several script rewrites and longer rehearsal times. The tension was highest during chemistry readings when Roberts' natural dramatic style clashed with Ford's liking for subtle, realistic character interaction. Director Mike Nichols, who tried to manage their partnership, remembered that Julia's charm works in a way that needs recognition and reaction. Harrison's charm lies in what he keeps hidden and doesn't reveal. They were like two different instruments trying to play the same song but in different ways. The situation worsened when Ford's calm response to Roberts' lively performance made her feel unsupported. At the same time, when she tried to create more energy, he became even more reserved. The turning point happened in an important romantic moment where their different energies created a lack of chemistry that cinematographer Sven Nykvist said was so strong it became almost interesting to see. Ford's later claim that he felt like he was acting with a performance instead of a real person showed how deep their disconnection was. Robert mentioned his frustration that Ford was emotionally distant, which showed their basic incompatibility. Dose. Kevin Costner. The failed partnership between Harrison Ford and Kevin Costner on a Western movie has become famous in Hollywood as a lesson in how egos can clash while pretending to be about creative disagreements. The conflict started in pre-production when both actors wanted control over their characters and the story. This created a situation where finding a compromise felt like giving up creatively, as neither actor was willing to take a lesser role in what they both saw as their ultimate Western film. Tension grew during script meetings when Ford's focus on character-driven stories conflicted with Costner's big-picture vision, which emphasized visual impact and historical context rather than close character interactions. Producer Lawrence Kasdan remembered that Harrison wanted to look into the mental effects of frontier violence on people. Kevin wanted to show the impressive scale of American expansion. They were creating very different movies while using the same script. The situation became critical when both actors asked for changes to the script that would reduce each other's parts. This led to what screenwriter William Goldman called a creative death spiral, where every revision made working together even harder. The turning point happened in a tense development meeting where Ford challenged Costner's grasp of character motivation, leading to what witnesses called the most respectful yet damaging face-off in recent Hollywood history. Costner's reported comment that Ford was trying to make an epic into a therapy session basically ended any chance of working together. Agent Mike Ovitz, who represented both stars, later explained that their disagreement was caused by two real artistic visions clashing, leading to destruction due to their incompatibility and mutual stubbornness. Mel Gibson is a well-known actor and filmmaker. At the center of Harrison Ford's biggest conflicts is his relationship with Mel Gibson. This confrontation highlights Hollywood's changing views on professionalism, personal behavior, and the difference between an artist's private beliefs and their duties when working with others. Their conflict started while working on several possible projects. Gibson's controversial public comments and personal actions made it difficult to move forward, as they clashed with his strong beliefs about professional courtesy and respect in the workplace. It became harder to handle or deal with. Tension built up during the pre-production meetings for an action thriller, as Gibson's behavior off-camera started to impact the teamwork that Ford thought was important for the best creative work. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer states that Harrison works with a foundation of respect and professionalism. Mel's personal issues made it hard to keep things at a normal level. They weren't just creating different films, they were coming from different sets of values. The conflict grew worse when Gibson's public comments started to impact potential cast members' willingness to join, creating what Ford saw as unnecessary barriers to the teamwork needed for good filmmaking. The turning point happened when Ford shared worries about Gibson's behavior with studio leaders in private. This led to what people inside the industry called the strongest stand against tolerance of intolerance that we have seen in Hollywood lately. Ford's statement that he couldn't work with someone whose personal behavior affected the professional atmosphere for others went beyond just a difference in artistic opinions. It reflected his core belief that creative work needs a space of mutual respect, which Gibson's actions made hard to maintain. Ford's conflicts show an artist who prioritized his craft over making money. This highlights that true professionalism can involve tough decisions about who to work with and maintaining creative integrity. Sign up for more Hollywood news.